Hey everybody, what's up? It's Ash, aka I Am the Light, and welcome to my YouTube series, the LandLord Chronicles. I'm super excited to finally give you guys the first episode. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting and asking me on Instagram about the episode and when I'm going to bring it out. I'm sorry, I've been super busy with a lot of other things going on, but I'm finally here to give you guys all the information and hopefully I can inspire you guys. So the reason why I really wanted to do a YouTube channel called the LandLord Chronicles is because after I purchased the property in Philadelphia, a lot of people started asking me about the process and the 203K loan and what house hacking was, and I really wanted to be able to give as much information and support to those of you who want to get into real estate and want to start investing. So I decided to create this YouTube channel, and I hope that I can be an inspiration to everyone that wants to be an investor or wants to be a landlord or wants to take this journey. And since I'm pretty new to it, I figured that everyone will be able to relate to me. And hopefully you start your journey and we can take this journey together. So I'm super excited about that. So today I'm just going to give you guys a quick rundown of the deal I did in Philadelphia. If you did not see the episode that I did with MG, the mortgage guy, where I was explaining the process and a few of the things that I went through. So I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown on that. So stay tuned. All right, guys, we're back. So I just want to give you guys a quick rundown of my process from start to finish to give you guys a little insight of how the process of buying a home or buying a investment property goes. So the first thing is mindset. Once you decide that you want to invest in real estate and you're serious about it and you've invested in yourself and you've gained the knowledge and the education around whatever it is that you're trying to do, you cannot get stuck in the analysis paralysis stage or the self-doubt stage, or you can't allow yourself to get in your own way. You understand? So you have to pick up what you know and be confident in the education that you've received and you've sought after. All the YouTube you've watched from YouTube University, the seminars you've gone to, the books you've read, and be confident in that information that you've taken away and get started. Just go out there, because that was something that happened to me. I read books. I did this for like 2 years. I was just reading and talking to people and going to meetups and going to seminars, and I just never felt like I was ready. And then one day I said, Ash, you're never gonna be ready. Just go. So I was like, you know what? I found my guy, MG, the mortgage guy, Matt. He is a mortgage advisor. I met up with him and his team at Flagstar, and they were like, look, let's get you pre-approved. Let's see how much you would get, because you can't even do anything until you know how much money the bank is gonna give you. If that's the route you're gonna take. If you're gonna go with a conventional loan, that's the way that you go. You have to get pre-approved. You can't shop for a house if you don't know how much they're going to give you, right? So you go, you get pre-approved. I was scared as hell, because I was like, oh my God, what if they don't give me enough money? What if they only give me $100,000? How am I going to buy a house? But you don't know what you don't know. Like, go. So I went and I sat down with Alex and Matt, and I let them know, like, listen, this is what I'm trying to do. I brought all my documents in. They put the numbers in the computer, and they was like, boom, here you go. And I said, wow, I could buy one of those properties that I've been looking at. And all of that fear and anxiety and everything that was in me just went away. It was like, wow, I did it. And that was the first step, the first part of the process. And I just hit the ground running. After that, all of that nervousness and fright that I had, it turned into excitement. And I was just ready and I was motivated to go. So I said, now what? And he was like, yo, go out there, look for properties. What type of property you want? I was like, yo, I want a multifamily. I want to live for free. I already knew exactly what I wanted to do. So they was like, okay, so this is what you do. What are you trying to do? I said, listen, I'm looking for a distressed property. And they was like, yo, so hit the 203K loan. I said, yep, I know about the 203K loan because I have been educating myself. They were speaking my language. I said, okay, cool. I said, what do I need to do for the 203K loan though? They said, yo, get you a contractor. Start looking for your contractor now. So I started looking for my contractor. I started talking to people. I was like, do you know a good contractor? Is there some work I could see? You know, I networked and I found my contractor. I let him know, listen, I'm looking for a property and I like your work. I really would like to work with you. Are you familiar with the 203K loan process? He's like, yeah, I know about that. I said, so you know, with the 203K loan process that you're not going to get paid up front. You're going to get paid in draws. You're not going to get all the money. So are you able to fund the deal? Or are you able to fund the project with your own money and then get reimbursed from the bank? And he's like, yeah, I got that. And I'm like, yo, we talking now. Now we in business. I was like, are you licensed for 3 years? He said, yeah. I said, yo, cool. Take all that stuff and I need you to submit that to my bank. Let them know that we working together. You're going to work with me on this project. Now I got my contractor. I got my real estate agent who wasn't too familiar with the 203K loan process. Make sure your agent is familiar with the 203K loan process because when you guys are making offers, you want your closing date that you're submitting with your offer to be realistic because the process is not a 30-day close. It's more like 60, 90-day close because it's a lot more moving parts. The contract is involved. You know, they have to make sure that all of their paperwork is correct when they're submitting to the bank so the underwriters can determine if they are eligible to do a 203K loan. You understand? So on another video, I'll definitely get more in depth about the 203K loan. But right now, for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of the process. So once I had my team on board and I had my contractor and my real estate agent, I started to go shopping. I'm all over the place. I chose my market based off all of my research that I have been doing. So Philadelphia was where I wanted to be. Make sure you guys do your due diligence when it comes to market analysis and market research. I'll do another video about market analysis and research and show you guys how to pick a market that works for you based off what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go with your investment properties. So I chose Philadelphia because it personally worked for me. I went out there, I found properties, I put I put my bid in on them. Some of them got rejected. Some people beat me to it. I didn't get discouraged. I kept looking. Then I found my property and I said, this is perfect. The location was perfect. Everything worked out. Put my offer in. My offer got countered. It didn't get rejected. It got countered, which is great because everybody was just rejecting me or somebody was overbidding me and they actually got the property. So this person was like, they had it listed at $285,000. I came in, I think at like $260, and they was like, no. And I was like, all right, $270. And they was like, yes. And I was like, but with a 2% seller concession. And they were like, all right. Oh, so if you don't know what a seller concession is basically where the seller contributes to your closing costs. So some people call that seller assist. So 2% of the purchase price is contributed to my closing costs. So that actually minimizes the amount of money you have to bring to the table. So always see if you can get a seller concession. If you're a little low on cash, like a lot of us are who are new to investing and don't really have that much access to capital. So I was able to get a sales price of $270 with a 2% seller concession. My contractor came in and gave me an estimate for the work that needs to be done. So I told him that I wanted the kitchens to be done, the bathroom to be done, and the flooring. So with all of that, he gave me an estimate of $23,000, which worked for me because the money that the bank allowed me to borrow was sufficient. So the $270,000 plus the $23,000 came to be a total loan amount of $293,000. So after the paperwork was done and the offer was accepted, we got the inspection done. And when the inspection came back, there was a few repairs that needed to be done. And I negotiated with the seller, and the seller agreed to pick up the majority of those repairs. So don't be afraid to ask for what you want. That's another thing that I want to let you guys know, is that you never know, and you're never going to know the answer unless you ask the question. So my agent said, oh, he's probably not going to, you already negotiated him down less than what he was asking. He's probably not going to pick up the repairs. I said, do you know him personally? Do you know what he's going to say? He said, no. I said, okay, so ask them to pick up some of these repairs from the inspection, and then we're all set with the deal. And guess what? He agreed to do the repairs. So that's even less money that I have to come with. That's less money that I have to put on, less repairs I have to put on my scope of work for my contractor. You won't know unless you ask the question. That's what I did. So that worked out for me. Then we got the property appraised, and the property came out to be worth $320,000. So my loan amount was $293,000. The property appraised for $320,000. So that is $27,000 in equity. Equity is the difference between what you owe on the property and what the value of the property is. So later, we'll talk about equity and how you use that to fund other investments. So we had a $27,000 equity position out the gate. So, and I also had 2 tenants that I inherited when I got the property, because the owner of the property left the property with tenants in it. So those are my tenants now. If you have a property that you're buying and it has tenants in it, unless the owner sells the property vacant, you have to keep those tenants until their lease expires. I want you guys to know that. You can't just buy a property and in your head you're assuming, okay, as soon as I close on this property, they're out of here. No, the law allows them to stay because there's a contract, which is their rental agreement, in place to keep them safe. They can't just get thrown out on the street because you came and bought the property. So when you're buying a property that has tenants in it, you make sure you ask all the right questions about those tenants that are already there. Find out when their leases expire. Find out how much their rent is. Okay? Find out if they're paying on time. Find out as much as you can about those tenants so that your process can be smoother. And you could decide if you even want to close on that property. Because sometimes you might come across a property and they have tenants in there that's not paying. So if you could have access to that information, you could find that out. It could keep a lot of stress and headaches off of you. So make sure you ask all the right questions. So when I came across this property and I found out, who the tenants were, the dynamics of the tenants and how many people were living there, how much they were paying on rent, how long they had been there. All of this you can have access to. Don't be afraid to ask the right questions. And when I found out that their rental income alone, with just 2 units being occupied, because it was a 3-family building, those 2 units being occupied covered my mortgage. So that was already great for me. I was already sold. the fact that the property was in good condition. They kept the property nice. For the most part, they paid their rent on time without any issues. And my mortgage was getting paid. I was like, this is amazing. So that's a big gem. Ask the right questions when it comes to properties that have tenants in place already. So we closed on the property in 2019, and right out the gate, I was a landlord. I was excited. I went to the property, and I walk in the property, and it's dark. The hallway is dark. The common area is dark. And I'm like, how long has it been dark in here? You know, like, how you guys are walking into the property with it dark? So I had to go to Home Depot. My friend, we got a ladder. We changed the light bulbs in the common area. Let there be light. I am the light. So I changed the lights for them, and I introduced myself. I let them know that I had just purchased the property, and that the previous property management company would no longer be taking their rental payments or be responsible for the maintenance in the building, that I would be. I gave them my contact information and let them know that they were free to contact me about any of their concerns or maintenance requests. I chose to manage the property myself. A lot of you guys might be wanting to look into using a property management company. There's pros and cons of property management companies as well. I'll dedicate an entire episode to property management companies in another episode. But right now, I'm just going to let you guys know that I chose to do it myself because I wanted to get my feet wet and see what it's like to actually manage the property yourself. And to be honest, it's really not that bad. Excuse me. If you treat your business, if you treat your property and your investments as a business and not as a hobby, you'll be more successful. So you have to create systems, and I'll teach you guys all about creating systems in later videos as well. You create systems and policies and procedures on how you'll handle different things when it comes to your investment properties. And that's what I've created. I have an entire folder that I'll show you guys that actually in black and white shows what to do if this happens, what to do if your tenants pay late. So it has all the procedures for different types of problems that you might come across. So should something happen to me, anyone can just go and get that binder and they can see exactly how to handle any situation. So you want to have something like that in place because anything can happen. You have to plan for the future and plan for problems. So that way you're not all frazzled when something happens because you know exactly what to do. And if you have procedures in place, you go directly to them and you know exactly what to do, and you're not making exceptions for anybody. That's really important when you're dealing with tenants because there are laws that protect them against these type of things. So we'll get into that too in future videos. So I have tons of value and content to bring to you guys. So if you really like the information that I'm giving, please subscribe, click the like button, leave comments, continue to give me questions in my Instagram, in the DM. It's the same thing you guys have been doing. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the communication and the questions and all the feedback that you guys have been giving me. I want to be an inspiration to you all, and I want to help to motivate you. And if there's anything that I can do, just feel free to reach out to me. For those of you who don't know, I'll give it to you again. My Instagram handle is I am the light. That's IAM_THELIGHTT. You can find me over there. You can also find me on Twitter, the same exact handle. And thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for rocking with me. I really appreciate it.